Okay, so today's main products that we are going to be using for this wintry styled nail is going to be a really pretty glitter purple Rooftop Vibes. Super glitzy, super sparkly, really pretty. So we're going to be using this. We're also going to be using Mega White acrylic powder. I may need to use some crystal clear as well, but we'll see. And we are going to also be using some Snow White as well. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I'm going to be doing is taking some Mega White acrylic powder using my Max Adhesion liquid. We are just going to wait for that bead to polymerize, which in simpler terms for beginners means that the powder and the monomer starts to react with each other and it will start to turn shiny. And that is when you know that your bead is ready to be used. So for this design, you would have a white background. You could just use Snow White gel, or you can do what I'm doing if your client is having acrylics and save yourself a little bit of time and do their acrylics in white on this particular day. Saves a bit of time. So we're just going to pop a nice thin layer of white all over this nail. Is anybody else starting to get prepped for Christmas? Because it's approaching. It is upon us. There is no particular way that I'm applying this acrylic on this particular nail because it is not a client. It's not a real nail and I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. I'm only going to do a light layer today just so that we've got that rough base. We are going to potentially go back in with that in a minute, but first we need to let that dry. So that is your next step.
So next I'm going to take Rooftop Vibes. This is a really pretty purple sparkle and I'm going to pop it in the centre of the nail, and then I'm going to slightly push the product up and down to the points where I want the product to stop. And then what we'll do is once the majority of the product is down like so, I'm going to take a fine liner brush and then just disperse and just basically fray the edges of that gel just so that it doesn't look so harsh of a circle. You just want to basically disturb the edges like I'm doing here. Amazing. So once you're happy with how that looks, this is how mine looked in the end. You're going to take a second coat of Rooftop Vibes and pop it in the center, and then you're going to repeat that same step again by just disturbing the outer edges to give it a slight ombre effect. Okay guys, so if you're following along, we need to make sure we cure that now. And then you are going to go back to your, oh God, can't talk. You're going to go back to your Mega White acrylic powder and just taking really small pieces, you're going to wrap around the edges of the gel that you just did. And this is now going to give it a really lovely encapsulated ombre effect on the outside, which just looks like frost, I suppose. It looks like the glitter is trapped inside snow or something like that. But it's very frosty, very wintry vibe, so we love that. You can do this with any coloured glitter as well, like a red glitter would look stunning. You could do a whole set of these. But I did decide to go with purple today because I thought it was really sort of different. I don't know, it gives a nice pop, so we went with the purple. Right, so as you can see here, I'm getting to the end of that now. I'm quite happy with how it blends. There's no harsh lines, and that is the key to this design. You don't want any harsh lines. Everything needs to be very flush and very smooth. So obviously take your time and just use very, very small beads of acrylic here, like I am, to just build up your outer edge. So obviously once you've done that, you are going to need to give it time to dry out because the acrylic obviously doesn't cure, it needs to dry. So while I was letting that dry, I just went in with a tiny weeny bit more Rooftop Vibes in the center just to make it pop. I cured that, and then once the nail was dry, I top coated over the whole nail. You are going to get a little bit of bumpiness and a little bit of texture with these glitters, so I decided before I go ahead and do my snowflake design, I wanted to top coat, just so that I could then go ahead and buff the nail without ruining anything underneath. As you can see here, I'm just using one of our buffing blocks, which are brilliant for this. If you want to just smooth out your nail design and keep it protected with a bit of top coat underneath, these are perfect because this gave me a really smooth base now to be able to draw my snowflake. Whereas if I'd have left it before, I would have been drawing over bumps and bits of glitter, which is not good. So to do a snowflake, we want to do one main circle in the middle. Then you're going to do 2 above, which are slightly smaller, and 2 below. Then again on the right hand side and the left hand side, you want to do another circle and another circle. So it should look something like this. We are using Snow White to do this. And then take the same dotting tool and just pop another one in each corner of your cross, I guess you'd call it. And it should look like that. Now take the liner brush, and from the middle dot outwards to each end dot that you've done, you want to just drag the product. Don't use any extra product here, just use what you've got in the dots, and this will give you a really pretty and really detailed snowflake. Snowflakes are quite difficult to do, and I found that for me this is the most detailed and the easiest way to do it. And you can do small ones, big ones, however you like. I'm just going to show you here how I do a slightly smaller one. So that's how you do your snowflakes. Once I've finished with this one, we are going to take our top coat and then we're going to go over it once I've cured these snowflakes. Perfect. And here's the big reveal. I love putting top coat over a buffed nail just so you can see the glitter that is underneath. This is such a pretty effect. I did see this online somewhere and I can't remember what colour it was in, but I loved it. So I really wanted to recreate it. This is giving frozen, it's giving winter, but I still love colour. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Let me know if you want to see it in any other colours or any other formations, and make sure to leave us a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.